Can somebody confirm that you can hear me? Oliver, thank you very much. Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Friday, May 8th. The market is open. My watch is going off here with alerts. These are the things that I was looking at this morning. 5 things to know before the stock market opens. These things are published around 8 a.m. So already this news is a little bit late, or a little bit old, I should say. Stock futures were rising, but then the April jobs report came in, and that was quite the wick with the non-farm payroll. This is why it's very important to be aware of the news. This was, if you were long, let's say over here, this absolutely would have stopped you out if your stop worked, depending on what kind of stop you had. So non-farm payroll came in this morning, and it was a very good number. Well, depending on who you ask, it was double what was expected. So 115,000 jobs, expected 65,000. How that affects the market? Well, it's bullish on the market generally on the economy, but it could be bearish on the possibility of lowering interest rates. So things like the M2K, who are very interest rate dependent, could possibly not like those numbers. So let's go back to 5 things to know before the open. Again, I don't trade the open. I am going to see what price does in the first half hour. Cloudflare stock tumbles. Same thing with CoreWeave. Block stock rallies on solid results. So XYZ had earnings. And what I was talking about yesterday on Carvana, I was looking at the split. We were at the 400 levels. They had their split. So if you were in Carvana and you're seeing that price is now at $80, don't panic. It was a 5-to-1 split. So very normal price action for every stock that somebody owned at 400 or whatever it was yesterday. You now earn 5 times those shares, and absolutely no change to the portfolio value. Any questions? Anything you guys are looking at this morning? I can share what I was looking at this morning on MNQ. We were making new highs. This was the drop from yesterday with the possibility of stuff going. Well, first of all, it was all-time highs. Whoever shorted this, this was a nice move down. I'm not going to go into detail about all those boxes over there. But this morning, we're coming back to this area. And we're putting in fair value gaps on the way up. I was looking at something like this area over here. Once we broke out, we retested. So as per the break and retest area, we consolidated. This is on a 2-minute. Let's go to the 5. All right, we consolidated for a bit at this level, but then we broke out. And when we broke out with momentum. That is a strong bullish candle, and we can see that it actually put in a 5-minute fair value gap. I wouldn't have entered there. What I was waiting for was the retest, and the retest happened at 550. Entry would be after the close of a bullish candle. Even though this one is red, I consider this somewhat bullish, right? It's a bullish candle. Right? A lot of people are going to say that no, it's not a bullish. I consider it into this level. It dipped down, then it came down and closed at the bottom. If this had been green, it would have been a very bullish candle. However, if you entered on the next bullish candle, which is the next candle here, or even once the fair value gap closed, if you entered on the break of this candle over here with the stop below the wick, you could have gone, and I always aim for 3R. 3R would have hit right here. Right, so this is a nice break and retest. Going long on a higher time frame stock like this one, going long and holding your position is usually not a bad idea, right? With the proper stop loss, we can tell that we're going up, pulling back, going up. So we are in a bullish trend. To go back to the 5, this personally, if I had gotten into this trade, I'm not quite sure if I would have held because a non-farm payroll was coming in, so I probably would have taken it off before 8:30. But if I were still in, I'd probably be still in right now and aiming for the next move up. Right? Why not? Right? But I mean, this pullback here would have been difficult to swallow, but it is, in hindsight, just a pullback. Pulling back. Now we're still heavily green. I'm very curious to see what we're going to do in the first half hour on MNQ, MES, different products. Gold has just been chopping around. There's absolutely no direction to be seen in this. I forgot to open up my other window here. There we go. Share entire screen. And it's this screen. There we go. And there we go. All right. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, gold up until right now seemed somewhat directionless. Now it's breaking out of a range, right? If I were to put a level here, and when it's more than one level here, I like putting in a rectangle. So this from these highs to right over here, this was the general area, and we broke out of it fairly, I don't know the word, with momentum. So over here, over the next little while, I could be looking at the possibility of a retest for the break and retest. So this is something that I'm going to set an alert. If it comes down here, I prefer to see the retest being a stair step back down to the level, and then a wick into the zone for the next move up. There is room to the left. We have to go back to yesterday, but I prefer going long once we take out. Once we can prove that we can get out where there's lots of room to the left, right? But I might look at this if it touches in the next little while. If it happens too quickly, I probably wouldn't take it. Oil is very, it's just stair stepping. It's hard to tell which direction. Just on the shorter time frame, it's going down, which is a little bit odd because there does seem to be tensions going on in the Middle East still. So oil is a difficult animal to trade right now. That's all I got for now. I don't know if anybody's looking at any stocks. AMD is making new highs. AMD is very interesting here. Put in a flag, right? Pull a flag over here. Pre-market, if we had considered this entire area here as a consolidation area, it broke out, right? It could come back, but it's pretty extended already, right? And we're approaching all-time highs. So going long, if it were to retest over here, this is a bit too far for me, right? If it retests now, I don't even know if it's a retest or are we actually reversing from a selling zone, which is R6, or a resistance zone, I could call it. If it comes back down here, for me, that's a bit of a distance. I don't know what you guys think of that. Did break out. See, there's two breakouts here that broke out of early morning consolidation, but then it broke out of yesterday's high. Right, both levels on the same 5-minute candle right at the open. So this thing is very, very bullish right now. Let's see what the market does. on something like AMD here, I would not be completely against looking at the rejection, right? If it does, see, it took out liquidity above yesterday high, right? Took out this liquidity and could be reversing. Difficult to reverse on a strong stock like this, but this is possibly shaping up, and I don't like that it's in the first 10 minutes, possibly shaping up as my kangaroo tail reversal. Let's see how this 5-minute candle closes in 3.5 minutes. If it closes way down here, then there's no entry. But if it were to close right around here and then make a new low, it could be a short indication. However, things to look at, we're very bullish right now. Right? Very bullish, three big, actually 5, 6, very big 5-minute fair value gaps. Let's look at the CVD for fun. Right, the CVD on the first candle was going higher, going higher. We are making new highs, but CVD is stuck. Right? So what this is saying is basically that the aggressive buyers, the ones that get in no matter what, market orders are saying, let's just get in, they're slowing down. Right? So this, if I were looking at shorting, this is one other added piece to the puzzle. So let's look over here. See, we made a new high on this candle right here, right? On this previous candle, we made a new high. And then on the next candle, we again made a new high, but not on the CVD. So basically, that's what's saying is that the momentum is slowing down. It's not necessarily an indication to go short. It's just we're slowing down momentum. Something, full disclosure, that I've just added to my arsenal. I used to use it with a Bookmap, and in Bookmap it was just the percentages, basically the percentages in buyers and sellers. Questions, comments, please don't hesitate to turn on your mics. I'm just here sharing my screen. I am not planning on taking any trades in the first half hour. And not sure if I'll take anything today. Difficult to trade at all-time highs. Right? We are, again, above all-time highs on NQ or MNQ, whichever one you're trading. We could absolutely continue going higher. But difficult to set profit targets up here. I mean, 29,000 is very obvious. Did we hit 29? 28,997. Right? So 29,000 is going to be a psychological level. Now, do we just punch up above it and keep going? Or do we hit a wall? Interesting to watch. Excuse me. In the whole macro side of things, thank you, Will. Talking about NVIDIA, $2 away from all-time highs. Right here, 216.77, all-time highs, 218, just about $2 away from all-time highs. Very interesting on NVIDIA. NVIDIA earnings coming up in the next while. What is that? Oh my, that is a massive, I don't know when I put that in. Anyway, NVIDIA getting close to all-time highs. Interesting level with earnings coming up soon. What was I saying? Oh yeah, macroeconomics here. There's punching up above 29,000 and just 30 points in a couple seconds. So this market is incredibly strong. And the only macro comment I wanted to share is that it's somewhat hard to believe how strong the market is right now, with everything going on in the world. And I don't know where you guys get your news, but there's news dropping this morning that could spook traders and investors and generally a lot of people. So it's pretty incredible how strong this market is going. And then my watch is going off because everything TQQQ all-time highs, SQQQ all-time low, MU all-time high. Yeah, stocks are rising on strong jobs report. Iran deal hopes. Baidu up. XYZ or Block up 7.5%. So a lot of stuff going on. And for me, I'm waiting. I took some trades pre-market here and successful trades. And I'm okay just doing nothing and just observing now. So with this strong move here, what I would be doing, right? Because there's no entry on this. First of all, it's in the first 5 minutes. I mean, it's just going to the moon. There's no entry for me in my style in here. So when you miss a move like that, it's like, okay, can I get back in on the pullback? And that's what the 50% retracement is for. When did the move start? Well, some people are going to say it started down here. Yeah, but when did the most recent move start? When did the move start that we actually broke through a level? And this is it. This is where that move started. And where is it starting to reverse? Well, we don't know yet because it hasn't, right? It hasn't reversed at all. So I'm just going to put it here for now, and then I'll move it, and then we'll see. Will it slowly come back into here? Right? Which is, look, if it were to make it, this would be a target right now. Just FYI. If you're long, I would be targeting right around here right now. Why? Because the 50% retracement would bring me back right at pre-market high. Let's see. 29,089 area. Let's see what happens. I'll just put it there. That's obviously a prediction. I don't usually make predictions. I follow what the chart is telling me, but you know what? Putting it over here and seeing where the 50% retracement from this level would be, I wouldn't be surprised if we start pulling back and getting back into this area over here. Yes. CoreWeave, CRWV, down 11.2%. CRWV. They had earnings on Wednesday? No, Thursday after the close. So yesterday after the close, here's the earnings trade on the 5 minute. Let's look at the 5 minute. I'll share with you a highly successful trade. So this was the earnings candle right here, right? Once it breaks that range, right, look at the earnings. That was a big spike. It depends on when volume came in, right around there. So let's go over here. Once it breaks below here, it's a likely short. Once it breaks this range below, it is a likely short. Now, if you, I mean, putting your conservative stop would be above the high, and it's the same thing for the same range here. If it breaks above, it's a likely long, and that is on the 5 minute. Actually, it works better on the 15 minute, but here I've got the 5 minute range. Broke down below, retested again in this area, and then off it goes on a lot of volume. Where's the higher time frame level? Let's go to the 30-minute. Where could we start reversing? Well, right around this area here. This could have been a strong level. Right there, resistance, broke through it, and it was support. Came down, chopped around there for a while, and then broke down below it. If this were to come back into this area, it could be a retest for the further move down. And if it does go further down, there's a few levels here, but this seems to be an interesting level here, right? Chopped around, touched it with support, came down, chopped around this area, resistance, then it came back here, support, and then it took off. So if I were short on this, this would be one of my targets. Not necessarily buying from here, but I don't know, I'd look at it. This is where I'd set an alert over here. Actually, I'd set 2 alerts. I'd look at this. Let's set them just for the fun of it. I will not be taking this, but I would set an alert if it comes back to this area and this is resistance, then I'd be zooming into the 2-minute time frame, 2-minute, 1-minute, and seeing if there's an entry for the next move short. Right? From where it is right now, there is room to the left. It is bearish because of bad earnings. Earnings was what? A surprise of $100 million. No, it was on the revenue side, it was $100 million above expectations. But on the earnings, it was 21% less. So a little bit of a surprise there. So earnings and whatever was said during the press conference could have made this bearish. So if it does pull back into here, might be interesting to watch. Anyway, I don't trade this, but it's in play today. There's a lot of people that do trade these. NQ, yeah, 29,000. All right, oh, imagine that. I was off by a tick. There we go. So for now, this seems to be the high of this area, right? The high of this most recent move. So are we going to start coming down slowly? I want to see a massive drop in here. But are we going to start coming back down slowly? I want to see this 5-minute candle close, 7 seconds. And I want to see the low of this candle broken. Then I'll consider this as the most recent top. I'm going to short MNQ. You know what? I would love to short MNQ. I would love to short MNQ at an obvious top, liquidity sweep to the top, like on a kangaroo tail. And it's one of those trades that, you would love to be able to catch the higher time frame top for a massive pullback. Short in the tops is very, very difficult. But with price action and indicators like the cumulative volume delta, let's see what this does. Right, there's a CVD on this let's zoom in a bit. I can't zoom in that much. Let's zoom in over here. Let's get rid of this line, this non-farm payroll indicator. So let's look at the CVD. We're going up. So I'm looking at this price candle and the CVD candle. So, and I like that my crosshairs are staying on that candle. So going up, going up. CVD going up, price going up. Same. Same. We broke the top here, but did not go any higher than this candle here. So that's a bit of an anomaly. And then on this candle, right, we went a little bit higher again. And again, we're not going any higher, right? So that's not necessarily a signal, but it, what time frame am I on? 5. I wouldn't be against going short here, but if I were going short, my target would have to be this level here, right? Because that's where there's likely support. So what I was saying here, it's not necessarily a trade signal. It's just part of the puzzle, right? Part of, trying to see what the mentality of the market is doing right now. If it were a limit entry, or even a market entry short here, from there, and if you wanted to do it with fixed risk of, let's say, $100, yeah, it'd be one contract, right? If you bring your stop above the wick, right? If it did give a short signal, then shorting one contract would cost $57 from where price is right now. From where you'd go in would likely be below 29.040, right? So you'd have to move the stop over here, but still likely to be around $100. So let's see. Let's see what price on MNQ does. What's MES doing? MES also above all-time highs. Reached it. This worked out well this morning. This reached it. By it, I mean the high of yesterday, right? And it is all-time high, right? And then rejected, came back, pulled back. Where did it pull back to? It's an interesting level. And then making new highs. So interesting area to watch. MNQ doing? Oh, still strong. Okay, so made it up. Is that where I had my level before I moved it down a little bit? Right, it's still strong. Still strong. Now CVD is making new highs now. Right, so there's no pulling back in this. Yeah, for right now, we see that the price is it wicked up. This is a 5-minute time frame. It wicked up, and then you could tell that it was just being slammed down. This is something that I might be interested in taking just for the possibility of it flushing down here. I want to see how this 5-minute candle closes. CBD is flipping between positive and negative right now. Bit of a battle between the buyers and sellers. Again, if I were shorting this, my target would be this area here. This is likely where we're going to find some support. What's that? MU up 10%. Excuse me, I forgot to look at um, other news. Now that it is 10 a.m. Over here, what else did we have? 10 a.m. Nothing 3-star, but Trump is speaking at noon. Be careful with this. Obviously, I have no idea what he's going to say, but whatever is said can actually, we've seen it, right? We've seen it since he became president. Anything that comes out of his mouth or his computer or his phone can absolutely move the market. So be careful of the 12 p.m. here. But these 2-star, the Michigan consumer expectations can sometimes move the market. They came in very, very close to expectations and previous months, so it doesn't seem like it's having much of an impact. Um, there you go. Be careful wanting to short the tops. A short is possible, but they're hard to plan. And we could absolutely break down this candle here and then make a new low and just trap some shorts for the next move up. Right now, it's an indecision candle. I'm concentrating on MNQ. MES is also above all-time high. MES, let's put the levels on. So we broke this level. We broke it this morning, then pulled back and then broke it again. So the start of that bullish market during RTH is right here. And by bullish, I mean the bullish most recent impulse move. So if I were to buy into, how did this candle print? Very curious on the, yeah, okay, so it went up and up and up. Let's go back to the 5-minute. Let's set this as precisely as possible. There we go. Possibility of a short on if there was a good signal in the tops. But again, I would only be aiming for the 50% retracement because we are absolutely bullish still. So somebody's mic is on. Somebody's saying something?
Hey, Gilles.
Hey,
Um, yeah, we were talking about this in the pre-market. If you look at the M2K, we're talking about in terms of shorting things, it's a lot easier than shorting the MES and the MNQ.
yeah.
You're dealing with a lot less passive inflows and deal activity.
And the
So
830 numbers that came in, those strong jobs numbers, they can go against the Russell 2000, right? Because the Russell 2000 is highly dependent on interest rates and interest rates being lower. And with the jobs numbers coming in as positively as they did, we might not be getting interest rate breaks. So that's looking more of a macroeconomic thing. But yeah, the possibility of we had resistance over here, right? A lot of
I do think the MES and the MNK will come down from here, but it's just if you see the way that the price moves, they are always able to drive it higher than anyone thinks
yeah,
before it goes down.
yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I did not hear what you guys were talking about pre-market. I was just doing some research here this morning, so don't just ignore this. Actually, we'll do this. That way it's not distracting. Yeah, the most recent move here is lower. So we moved lower. Over here was the most recent low. Let's move this sideways. Look at what it did at the open. Right at the 50. So from the top of that wick to the most recent low, popped up and went down from there. Very interesting. Maybe I'll have to start looking at the possibility of trading at 9 a.m. But for now, I'm not interested. CRWV, the alert went off. So this was the alert I was looking at for a possibility of a pullback into this area here. So this is where I would start looking at the smaller time frame. A 2-minute candle here that pokes back into the area. So we're bearish, going down, pull back, right? So that's the break. This is the retest. Very curious to see if the low of this candle here is broken to the downside, right? And if it was, this could be an entry short. I'm just going to put the indicator there just for fun, educational purposes. Right? If we were to make a new low, stop above the wick, aim for 3R. 3R is not off the chart. Let's see. Let's zoom in. Take off volume. I don't want to have too much information to look at. So let's just move this right there. Conservative stop, aggressive stop. Let's leave the aggressive stop on. And then let's aim for 3. There we go. M's testing out some theories. Closed it. So you did take a short on MNQ. I want to see it wick down before the 30-minute close. Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to short a strong because there's a lot of buyers here, right? There's a lot of look at this. There's a lot of buyers. I mean, even after that massive pullback yesterday, just tons of buyers in pre-market on low volume. Right, so this at the open could have tanked, right? It could have tanked if we didn't find any buyers because this was all, non-institutions for the most part getting involved on very low volume, but price was accepted here and off it goes. So again, don't know where it's going to go from here, but it's just looking at it right now, it's strong. Okay, so it's gone above my thin foil hat level that I thought it might reverse to. It did over here. I was going to pat myself on the back, but it just kept on going higher. Now, just for what's going through my mind. If it comes back down here, that's quite the move. And this area for the stop now is getting wide, right? If I were to put a limit entry at the 50 here, my stop would have to be below the 61.8. Well, that's starting to get a big stop. Right? Not saying I won't do it, but if it really gets extended, then I look for something else. M2K chopping around this area here. By the way, now that this move has happened, I am looking to the left and seeing where there's possible support. And if it breaks down below that support, then I'll look for the next move. Gold, let's look at gold here. We had yesterday high, could not sustain above yesterday high. So the most recent move on the 5-minute is to the downside. So from here to where it possibly reverses, we don't know yet, but right now it's right at this level. This is what I'd be looking at. Right? If it were to pull back into the 50 here, right now coincides really nicely with pre-market high. It didn't seem to be difficult to get through on the way up, and didn't seem to be much to get through on the way down either. So this level here is definitely not as strong as you would expect, right? Because it wasn't, it was the two little wicks here held it as support on the 5-minute time frame, but then we just punched our way down. So again, this is how I would trade this. Right now, the impulse move is lower. I would be looking at a limit entry short. I would be looking at putting the stop loss above the 61.8, but the entry at 50. Or very close to 50. You know what? I might, right close to 50. So this right now is $120. So maybe I want to go to 2 contracts instead. There you go. Just keep it under $100 risk. And for the profit, I'd be looking at 3R. So right around there. If you want to be very accurate, you put in the tool. This would be the entry. This would be the stop. And 3R would be right there. And that's exactly where I am. Right, there you go. Let's put it in. Let's put it in. So there you go. Paper trade, right? Let's just see how it works. And again, once you put the trade on, zero emotion, right? I'm risking $86 to make $252. And if I'm right half the time or 40% of the time, or even less, it's possible to be profitable. But you have to get out of your head. And the easiest way to do it, once it's filled, the easiest way to do it is just to turn the chart off. For me, anyway, that's what's worked. And some of my students as well, right? That seems to work for them. I don't get an audible, I don't get a sound once an order is filled. If anybody knows, I should chat GPT it, I guess. But I want to know. I want an audible sound that that's one thing with the DOS that you could program. You could get an alert. But on TradingView, I'm not sure if I can. I guess if I had my interactive brokers open, I would
can help you with that.
Perfect. You want to do it now?
Yeah, if you right click.
Right click, just anywhere on the chart?
Yeah. Go to
Will I
settings.
get personal information on here? Hang on. Shouldn't show. I'm logged in to my interactive brokers. So let me log out.
No, you're logged. Oh yeah.
Over here, I'm in paper trading.
Yeah.
The other window, I'm logged in.
Okay.
Right. So give me a sec. Logged out. There we go. Okay.
So he wants to hide his millions from us.
Yeah. I don't like sharing for now. I don't like sharing.
No, that's
and I know you're only kidding, but honestly, it's not really that. It's the account number, right? This is going out onto YouTube. The 17 people that are watching the video here, I'm not too worried about. But just to be safe. By the way, getting very close to my limit entry. Let's see what happens. But okay, right click.
Settings. Trading.
I see alerts there. Trading
and execution sound.
Execution sound.
The third option, yeah.
There we go. What's alarm clock?
Pick whichever one you like.
Yeah. 3-note. There you go. Try that. All right. Now, you son of a gun. It just wicked up. Didn't fill my order. Let's see what happens. If it misses me, I'll be annoyed, because I just want to show a live example of the simplicity of this system. Don't need to be looking at CRW and Carvana and everything else. I mean, it's possible to make money on a simple system like this. Something in my glasses. I saw settings, trading setting, execution sound. Thank you, Tony. I just saw it in the let's see if the sound will go off. I saw a video once. You guys might have seen it. This crypto trader on YouTube in a room, in a Discord room or whatever, and by mistake shared his wallet and the key to his wallet on the screen. And within seconds, the wallet was emptied. So not that that's what I'm, I don't trade crypto. Breaking news, consumer sentiment. Okay. And if you don't get filled, right? If this thing flushes, like it is right now, let it go. Let it go. I'll get the next one. If it comes down to the 3R here, I'll take it off. Right now, I'm still okay. I'm on the 5-minute time frame. On the 2-minute, did it even go into? Right, you got to be incredibly precise with this. So this could have gone up 1 tick, I think. Right. So this is the general area. That's where I put my sell limit. It's right at the 50. It didn't go to the 50 yet. But if it were to come back down and hit my profit target, then I'll take it off. Right? I missed it. Tony, what are you saying no way to? At the fact that it missed my entry? Oh, the guy that shared his wallet and the key. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Just Google crypto wallet, and it was one person in the community, and it wasn't chump change either. I don't know the exact number anymore. I don't remember, but I remember that stuck with me when I started sharing my screen a couple of years ago with students and stuff, and it was always like, okay, make sure that my screen number 3 here or number 2, whatever the computer decides the number is, but this screen on the left, I always try to be conscious that I'm never sharing. I never have banking information or broker information or, anything else on that screen, because this is the screen that I usually share. So yeah, if somebody sees the video or if you know the number, like it was in a couple $100,000 US, if I'm not mistaken. 3R, boom, right there. And it missed me. So, okay, get the next one. And it was only a paper trade anyway, right? But I think this is a good example. Had it been one tick lower, or maybe I was at the right place. It is paper trading, right? So, but then again, I think with paper trading, if it reaches the level, it will fill you. In live trading, it could reach the level and it could not fill you, right? Especially if it's a limit order. And a limit order, you're not guaranteed to get filled. A market order, if it was a tiny bit lower, then it would have gotten filled. So anyway, that's the strat, guys. That's what I've been working on. I mean, there's more moving parts to it. But generally speaking, that's what it is. And there's so many others. I mean, there's so many different strategies that people are trading. What I have found over the years is the simpler the better, right? I like taking reversals from the top. But what happened is that my reversal signal was the kangaroo tail candle. And when it doesn't print that 5-minute candle, and it prints it often, but when it doesn't print it and you miss the move, it's like, you know what? It would have been nice to get into this short. Well, this strategy allows you to get into the reload. And it's a known level. Map it out, guys. Map it out on stocks, forex, futures, options, the 50% retracement area. But you have to have other levels there as well, right? I had a level here. Right? This was pre-market high. This was, and I'd drawn a rectangle because it wasn't just one line, right? It was the top of this candle right here. We wicked up, then we went up a little bit higher, and then it chopped around in this area. So this whole general area here, maybe my entry should have been right at the top of this candle here, which is 47.4360. Where did it go to? 47.4370. One tick above this candle here. And then down it went. So no trades for me. All-time highs, MNQ, MES. MES seems to be rejecting on this wick here. We'll see what happens. Target over here would be pre-market high if you're shorting. This is not 3-to-1 RVR. So for me, there's no short here. Right? If my target was down here, sure. But where's the first target? Where's the first likely target? It's this, right? This proved to be, it wasn't even resistance. It's just because there's nothing to the left. Or is there? Yeah, there's nothing to the left. So this line was not really resistance. But on the way down here, look at this wick on the 5-minute. Right? It was support. So if you're shorting from here, there's likely buyers that are waiting to get back in right here for the further move up. 5 minutes until I walk away from the computer for the weekend. Actually, that's not true. I will still be at the computer, but I will likely not be looking at the markets. Any questions, comments before I log off? What happened with this trade? Oh. Anybody look at this? Is anybody looking at taking this? Not that we're giving signals, but this is just a good example of breakdown, the retest on the 2-minute time frame entry. This was a bearish candle. Entry on the break of that low. Aim for 3R. Stop. This was the aggressive stop. Let's see where 3R is with the conservative stop above the wick. 3R was right around, come on, right around there. Aggressive stop worked. Aggressive stop right above the wick. That one worked. Conservative stop above the rejection wick here. Not quite there yet, but it is above low of day. If it were down here, then I probably wouldn't have taken it. And I didn't take it anyway, but I probably would be advising against it because there's likely support right here. All right, so you don't want to aim, and this is, twice further than support. But 3R was right around here, or right there. There you go. So that's I think a good example. And this right here, this was an entry as well, right here. This rejection wick right here on the first 5 minute, any break below that with your stop halfway up the wick or just above here, that would have been a good entry too. However, this entry is way tighter. So why trade in the first few minutes? We got our entry right here. There you go. 3R on the conservative stop has been hit here. So there you go. It's perfect timing. It's very close to 10:30. I'm going to head off, sign out. If anybody has anything they want to share, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'll walk away. And it's very quiet. So you know what? Have a great weekend, everyone. Hopefully,
thank you,
yeah. Thank you, Tarek. Oh yeah, I did a gold thing. There's the gold thing. There you go. There's the gold thing. By the way, it just hit profit again. So I didn't get filled on the paper trade here, but I think this was a good example of the strategy. So there you go. With that, I'll let you guys go. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone, and I'll be back on Monday. All right. Cheers.
Thank you. I'll see you on Monday.
Thanks, Jill. Have a good weekend.
Okay. Have a great weekend, everyone. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if anybody's doing the poker thing this afternoon. I'm sure something will be said in the Discord room if something happens. I plan on being back just after 1 o'clock, so we'll see if anybody's in there. Okay, yeah, I've got that Friday feeling too. That'd be great. It'd be great to have a conversation with you guys. Where I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. All right, have a great weekend, everyone. Cheers.
Later, Pete. Yeah.
All right.